Good morning. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us for another edition of the Morning Breeze, man. Always rocking with you guys, as always, man. Outside of me, I got my guy, Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC, in the building. Oh, we're back at it again, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know how we do. We're not going to let it hold us down. We're not going to let it stop us. Because we're Bears fans. We are going to be sad, though. What's good, y'all? We got a lot to get into on today's episode, man. Got to talk about an article written in The Athletic that paints the Chicago Bears as afraid to go after the big name head coach. And then Bears players calling out staff and other players yet again. Is this the sign of the end, or will this be the kick in the behind that some of them need as the captains speak out yet again on what some of the issues are? We'll talk about all that and more in today's episode of The Morning Breeze. Jordan JC will be joining us soon. Having some technical difficulties. The McCaskies hate that we're coming after him like this. That's what it is. The date is 11/12/2024. It's 6:35 in the dang morning. And I'm running out of excuses. Let's go! Hey. Yeah. Big vibes. Yeah, what's good, y'all? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love to another edition of The Morning Breeze. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Come on. Push the button. Come on. Push the button. Come on, push the button.
Yeah, come on, push the button.
You heard what she said.
Y'all heard what Sue Young said. Push the goddamn button, man. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the page. And keep rocking with us, man. Keep rocking with us. You guys have been awesome over the last few weeks. It makes it more bearable knowing that we have to go through this season when we go through it with you. Not to say that I'm glad to drag you all down in this, but it's better to do it with you than without you. Appreciate y'all, man. Let's jump into the opening topic because I think that this is a very, very interesting conversation to have around the Chicago Bears. The Bears have what most people would call an inability to get out of their own way. I mean, I think that's the best way to describe it. And it seems like that will continue no matter what with this team. They will make sure that they are always in their own way, that they are always stopping their own success. Chicago Bears are essentially very much like Sisyphus. They can push the ball uphill and then it falls right back down. But we saw an article yesterday I thought was interesting that was getting aggregated by Kevin Fishbane, and it's from Mike Sando of The Athletic. And basically what Sando's doing in this is it is his pick sixes. Oh, not only did JC return.
What's up, y'all?
But the camera's working well. Oh, little
camera's just fine. My
nice
goodness.
lighting on there. Well, JC, here's a lesson, dog. Every now and then restart the computer. The thing's dying over there.
I swear to God, boy. Yeah,
the computer is stressed, JC. It's going through it.
Breeze fans, what's going on? Good morning. Sorry about yesterday.
It's going through it just like we are, my brother. By the way, just since you got here, we do have over 100 in
It's been a minute since I did that.
Thought it was a very interesting article in Sandoz 6 talking about the Chicago Bears essentially being concerned about big voices being in the building. And he talked to some different executives around the league. And basically the gist that they get is that the Bears are scared of having a big name voice, somebody who's got some cachet already there.
Interesting.
In the building. Talked about how one executive pointed out, ultimately, you're going to be held accountable to that. The fact that the head coach isn't getting the job done, perhaps maybe even to the point of termination. And what would that look like bringing somebody new in? And basically saying that, listen, it's actually Kevin Warren who would push back on the Bears going out and getting a big name. It's actually Kevin Warren who, and in the McCaskey's mind, has this setup of a strong president, a strong front office, and then a head coach who would probably be somebody who does not have prior experience. Even goes on to say that one exec said the GM won't want to fire the coach unless the president is on board with that. And the president is not going to turn the reins over to a proven coach. Their structure definitely defines how much oxygen is left in the room, and there is not a lot. You're not going to get a big fish. This is by another exec in the NFL. When you hear that, JC, is that concerning to you? Is that shocking to you? Is that, because realistically speaking, what that doesn't exclude is Ben Johnson.
Sure.
But it does concern me that basically you don't want somebody who you feel can be bigger than the brand, bigger than the Bears. You don't want, in sense, what Mike Ditka became. They don't want that again. That's how it sounds to me.
Yeah, you got your Vrabels, your Belichicks of the world. You got those that have been there and done that, that have a resume of success, right? Have a resume of championships. That's not what you want to come into the building, I'm assuming. And if you're Kevin Warren, you're praising, the fact that we want a winner. You want somebody that's going to be a winner. You want this organization to be successful. You're making apparently if we're going to Arlington Heights or if we're staying here on the lakefront, you want this new stadium to have a winning culture and a winning team. Well, that's where it starts. It's getting somebody in the building that's going to change that culture, not just saying it, but actually doing it. And we've seen the track record. We've seen him butt heads when he was, in the Big Ten with the Harbaugh. We've seen him butt heads with a strong presence. And so are you yourself saying that you're intimidated or you're scared to have someone come in the building and challenge you? That's the issue that I have. And again, I said before, it starts at the top. It starts with the leadership at the top, not just with Ryan Poles, but above him as well. It starts with the McCaskies. It starts with the Warrens. If you're fully committed to winning and you're fully committing to making taking this team and turning it over and opening up every door and every opportunity to make real change, that's what it's going to have to take. Getting a guy in here who has a voice, who knows exactly what winning looks like. We don't want experiments. We don't want first timers all the time. Sure, the shiny new toy looks good, but we had a shiny new toy in Getsy. We had a shiny new toy now in Waldron. Those toys suck. I want an old toy. I want a toy that's been around for a minute. I want a Woody. I want a Buzz Lightyear.
Some classics.
Yeah, classics.
Some classics. You want?
My goodness.
You want a little G.I. Joe action?
Yeah, give me some G.I. Joes.
Something you can rely on.
Some toy soldiers. Things that's been around since the 70s. It's like it's really all about making a different, pivoting in a different direction. The Bears are always trying to put a Band-Aid and it's the same Band-Aid that they're trying to put over the wound, and it just continues to get ripped right back off. Do something different.
Yeah.
You're not doing something different.
The concern that I have is you're trying to run this team through the execs, through the front office, through through your GM. And I mean, listen, I guess we kind of could see that because realistically, Ryan Pohl selected the coaching staff that's here. None of these guys are connected to Matt Eberflus. None of these guys are connected to any past. They've never worked together. The most that connection that I think they have was Thomas Brown and Matt Eberflus both worked for Frank Reich. I kind of knew it then, but the conversation of not picking up the phone to go get a culture changing head coach, the fact that you don't want a culture shifter, the fact that you don't want somebody that can be bigger than the brand, because I'll tell you right now, your brand sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Your brand's not good. Your brand is you're going to destroy another quarterback. We all expect it at this point. Your brand is you don't prioritize the offensive line. Your brand is no matter how much you do in the offseason to look good, you end up looking bad. Your brand is an organization that looks incompetent 90% of the time. That's your brand. That's what the Bears brand is right now. Don't tell me about George Stanley Hallis right now. Staley Hallis. Don't tell me about George Hallis, because George Hallis would be turning over in his grave looking at what the Chicago Bears have become.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me about the Chicago Staleys. Don't tell me about don't tell me about the charter franchise of the league. That's done. That's gone. You can beat your chest that you're one of these top teams and one of the most honored teams. Good job. Win football games. When did it become more about prestige than winning football games? When did it become more about prestige than winning football games? That's what the Bears need to ask themselves inside that building, because they are clearly not prioritizing winning football games. When you hear things like this, you're scared to go after the big fish. Why? Because he may have a voice. By the way, Ditka wasn't even the big fish. He became the big fish, and you got sick of him being in there because he was bigger than the Bears. That's a joke. When I hear stuff like that, that tells me all of the, hey, we want to go out and win multiple Super Bowls. Hey, we want to go out and take the North and never give it back. That's all BS, because you don't want to put the best people in position to do the job. Say what you want about whatever beef you have with Jim Harbaugh from the Big Ten. But I can sit there and look across the aisle at what the Chargers are doing right now and tell you they don't have more talent. They got a heck of a better offensive line, though. And it's crazy how it magically worked the second that they got that in there. And the second you had a good coach, now all of a sudden, what are they, 6-3?
Mm-hmm.
That to me that's concerning. Now it does leave names in there, like I said, like Ben Johnson, guys like Bobby Slowick, Liam Cohen in Tampa, Zach Robinson. Yeah, there's guys out there that you can find, but are you finding the best leader of men? That's the question that I have. Are you continually finding the best leader of men for your team? Because the guy that you got is, and we'll talk about it in a second here, is constantly getting his processes called out by the players on his team. Doesn't sound like he's doing a great job of leading the men after he told everybody, hey, why don't we calm down and not tell everything that's happening in this locker room to the media? Yeah. Yeah, that worked for a little while.
Sounds like it got worse. Since that point, it got worse.
Yeah, it got worse. Solid week and a half. By the way, over 200 in that shit. Over 300 in that shit. 300.
Appreciate y'all. Yeah, it got worse. Like, to me, your voice needs to resonate. And that's why I said that there needs to be a change now. That's why we can't just sit on our hands like we're so used to as an organization because of just I guess the prestige of it all. The fact that you haven't fired anybody during the season is this crap badge of honor that you can put in the rafters. How about putting a trophy in the rafters? How about having another Super Bowl since '85 so we won't keep talking about '85?
Hey,
It just happened last year.
Hold on, JC.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm
JC,
sorry. I'm so sorry.
How about do what you were brought here to do and put the rafters up? We have no rafters. You were brought here to build a stadium with rafters. How about do what you were brought here to do and put the rafters up and stop worrying about a big name head coach coming in and going chest to chest with you?
It's insane. And again, that's why you have to make changes now. When you see constantly, and I know we're going to get into that next, veteran players and just players period on this team constantly coming out and just saying one thing after another, you've lost the respect of the most important piece on your team, which is your vets, the leaders of this team. That's important because how they play is going to impact winning, and how you coach is going to impact if they respect you. Again, it's a marriage. We keep talking about that word. It's a marriage. It's a marriage on the field and off the field. Your players have to respect what you say. And if they call you out and they say, hey, this doesn't look too good, let's switch this up. If they got to come and form a council to say, you know what, let's make some changes, and then those things don't happen, that's an issue. That's a problem. And they don't want it to change. Like you said, hey, all that talking about wanting a winner and we're going to take back the North. I said it the other day on my show. Taking back the North, that's an uphill battle now. You got 3 teams in the division that have gotten better. In Minnesota, I thought we could have got maybe a win or 2 off them. I don't see that. It's going to be an uphill climb, not just this season, but for the foreseeable future.
And I think what concerns me about these comments most is it does confirm to me, if Matt Eberflus wins, cover years, JC, he's not going anywhere. If Matt Eberflus finds his way to 9 wins this season, he's not going anywhere because they've got the control. That's what this says to me. If Matt Eberflus stabilizes the ship, he's not going anywhere.
What is stabilize? What the heck does that mean at this point?
9-8.
Oh, okay.
9-8.
Oh,
that's stable.
Yeah. And missing the playoffs?
That's stable. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Honestly, yes. And you know what they'll say at the end of the year? Ryan Poles will put it on himself. He'll take accountability. He'll say, oh, I didn't do a good enough job of putting an offense, which he didn't. I didn't do a good enough job of putting an offensive line in front of Matt Eberflus. And so, that's on me. We're going to address that this offseason. We're not going to worry about those same issues. We're going to come back to the table. Bada bing, bada boom. We got a new team. Go out there. And Flus will find a way to lose 3 games. Flus will find a way to lose 3 games. We'll just be like, how the heck did you lose these 3 games yet again? And everybody will be mad and we'll all be up in arms, but the ship will be stable.
Is that right? Okay.
Nova with the super chat said, I don't care if my coach is young, old, mean, nice. I just want the right guy. We've done young, old, nice, etc., but we've never done the right guy in forever.
Shout out to you. True. Shout out Nova.
Yeah, that's true. Like that to me is where you're at with this team. If when I hear comments like this, you're not going after a new guy. They bring up Ben Johnson, they bring up Bobby Slowick. They bring that doesn't tell me you're going after a new guy. By the way, how many of those guys? Think about this. How many of those guys are going to sign here if they can't pick their staff?
I wouldn't.
Because Flus didn't pick these dudes.
No.
Flus didn't pick Shane Waldron. That's why he's like, I don't mind firing him. He didn't pick him. None of these dudes have any connection to Flus. Flus probably sat there and interviewed with him and talked with him and probably was like, I'll give you I'll sign off on it. yeah, I'm here for this. I think I can work with him. You think Ben Johnson's going to sign here if he walks in the door and say, Ben, we have some candidates for you. Shut up.
I got my own guys.
I got 7 dudes standing behind me right now. And you think you're picking my candidates? You think Bobby Slowick's coming to Chicago? If he can't pick his own DC? Stop it, bro. So when I hear stuff like this, it's like, guess who's okay with it? Matt Eberflus. He's fine with it. Pick a new staff. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and again, this goes back to the malpractice of just overall coaching and the organization. Because I mean, you look at the staff that Matt Eberflus brought in, and we don't have to go into detail, but I mean, full of HR violations, full of coaching blunders. Luke Getsy being fired.
I don't even know if he brought that staff in, but it is funny. Like full of HR violations is nuts.
Man, I mean, like your DC and your I believe the running backs coach all gone last year. Yeah. Like you there's a theme here. As you mentioned before the other day, there's a theme here of violations. All right.
I don't think Shane Waldron's going out with the same stuff as
yeah, I don't think he is too, but just overall that you're violating the culture. Okay.
Oh, that's not the same. We're not getting HR involved for violating the culture.
It's got to change. There's got to be drastic
pants up on the culture, sir.
God. Get him out of here.
Put your goddamn
in all seriousness, it's in all seriousness. It's just we should be tired of being used to this. I love there was a rant by Cal Brandt. I always love him when he talks because I mean, obviously a true Bears fan, but when he gets on Good Morning Football, he mentioned something the other day that really kind of resonated with me as well. He talked about how Bears fans are going through the 3 stages of grief. And you start out with that loss against Washington. He mentioned, that's the first stage of what is it? Denial. We're 4-3. We lost. We had a really horrible end to the game. Obviously, we probably should have never been in a position to win because we played horribly all game, but we were in a position to win. Then you just lose off of that miracle Hail Mary, a prayer. Okay, let's try to get past that. Oh man, my goodness, it sucks, but we're still in it. 4-3, right? We're still in the thick of things. But then that lingers over and that carries over into the next game against Arizona. You hear Caleb talking about, players are still trying to, get over that 3 or 4 days later. We're not prepared. The coach clearly didn't have them ready for Arizona. And then we get our heads beat in on the run game because Connor Mercado and Trey Sermon kill us for 200-plus rushing yards. And that's when the anger sets in. Now everybody's looking like, what's going on? Hey, why are we out? What are we just now not playing to win now? This is supposed to be the softer part of the season. Why are we not winning against teams that we're supposed to statistically beat? We have a defense, but now we're getting our heads crushed. So then the last stage of grief, you have your acceptance because against New England, a team that is completely horrible on both sides of the ball, kills you to the tune of only giving up a field goal. Yeah, you only gave up 19 points. You couldn't keep up with them though. And so now everybody's like, you know what? This is the Bears. This is what we thought we were. We're going back to accepting every single season being a lost season at some point because of one reason or another. The lack of offensive line help. Quarterback is getting killed. Now his mental is all over the place. He's getting jarred. He's getting sacked 1 million times a game. Same old tune. Let's run it back every year.
Yeah. I think was this caller. I'll never forget it. He called into the post game show. I want to say it was after the Arizona loss, and his comments was basically, by the way, hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Also, over 400 in that shit.
All right.
Over 500 in that shit. 500. Oh, it left it in.
Man,
it was such a great comment though, but he said at a certain point, don't you got to stop the bleeding? You get hit in the nose, don't you got to put the tissue up and stop the bleeding? And my response to that was, it's tough to stop the bleeding when they keep hitting you in the face, though, dog. Like, that's the thing with the Bears. That is the thing with the Bears. It's not as a fan, it seems like themselves, like it's just like, I gotta stop the bleeding. It's like
stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Eventually, put your hands up. Like it's just straight taking it to the face. And it's like you never tried to block. Try to block once. Try putting your hands up one time and stopping the punch that's about to hit you. Like, and I don't know, man. I think what the one thing that you are concerned by, the one thing that you do hope changes with this franchise is a fear. It seems like there's a fear to not go for the best at every position. We don't go for the best because we don't want to rock the boat at position players. We don't go for the best. I don't know why you're not going for the best lineman that you can get, but you're bargain bin shopping with the lineman. The mindset of this team is good enough is good enough. It has been for the last few years. I go back. I talked about this yesterday when I was on ESPN. I remember them setting the goal for Justin Fields of 200. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles. That was the number, 200. And every single week, Justin Fields was able to meet that. The problem was he needed 3. You needed to up the number. But Flus was like, you get me 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles, we can win the game. Okay. All right. So he's doing the goal you set out for him. But we could use 21 points right now. That would be great. He got his 2. That's good enough. And if he does that, we should be fine. That's a poor mindset to put your team. That's a poor mindset to put out to your team. This is the limit that we want to see. Give them 300. Give them 400. Just do this. Just do just enough. 14 points is all we need from you, kid. I'm watching Lamar Jackson put up 30 points a week.
Yeah.
It's just the mindset to me is so bottom barrel, bottom bin mindset that it is concerning to me. And it doesn't get better, especially with some of the comments you hear. I do wonder how close you are to being on that precipice of pushing this team over the edge, pushing this locker room over the edge by holding their feet to the fire with the crew that you have in here. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Now we're going to get into talking about some of those concerns that the team captains have voiced yet again, JC.
Yep.
These team captains do not hold back on this team, and
no, they do not.
They are very honest. We're going to take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors at Aura just to calm things down a little bit. And we'll be right back on the other side. Y'all stay safe. Stick around. Bear down. One love. And I'm stressed. We'll be right back. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and watching the show. Today's episode of the podcast is brought to you by Aura. Have you ever done a Google search on your own name? You'd be surprised what pops up. Your full name, email address, home address, health records, your relatives. It's all out there. And that's why I've been using Aura, the sponsor of today's video. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and automatically submits opt-out requests just for me. Cleaning up my information not only helps reduce the amount of spam I get, but it protects me from hackers who could use that information to help them access my social media, bank accounts, and other sensitive information. It's really simple to set up. I don't have to download several apps or go to things like antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft, but you can get all of that in one place with Aura. I get everything at one affordable price as well. You may already have one or two of these tools, but not having Aura is like leaving the front door locked while leaving the back door and windows wide open. For you to be able to take advantage of Aura, we got a special deal for you here today. Stop data brokers from exposing your personal information. Go to my sponsor at https:/aura.com/the Windy City. Again, that is aura.com/the Windy City to get a 14-day free trial and see how much of your information is being sold. Welcome back in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I'm calm. I'm calm.
A little relaxed.
Yeah. A little more relaxed.
Yeah.
Hey, man, welcome back in. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love, man. We just talked about the concerns around this team with going out there and being afraid to hire that big-name coach.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's even more concerns on the current team, essentially calling out not only just the coach, but also players on the team for lackluster practices. We heard from DJ Moore. We heard from Jalen Johnson yesterday over on 670 The Score. And both of them were very, very critical. I don't know if I should say very critical. Very critical might be a little excessive. Open and honest is what I'll say about where the practices have been, where the Bears have struggled at. Jalen Johnson going out to say basically that before the question was even finished, are there players on the Bears who don't work as hard as others? Before the question's even finished, that's not even really a question. When they asked, how can you help change that? He said, honestly, I've been fighting myself with this question for a long time. DJ Moore then went on to say, I'm just going to say that we could do a better job of focusing on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We can't just expect to have it click on Sunday without seeing it done in those work days leading up to it. We just got to be more intentional about our work throughout the week and come here every day with a purpose. And of course, we heard Cole Kmet basically echo those same things yet again on his podcast over on CHGO. Listen, we're at week 11 of the season, dog. And we are talking about, as Cole Kmet said it, an overall lack of urgency being put out from the Chicago Bears coaching staff, being executed by the Chicago Bears players. I wonder if this is just a Waldron thing. Listen, you're not going to change who people are.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had to have a meeting on, hey, you need to coach us the right way, he probably was never going to get to a point where he coached you the right way, right? That's just being real.
Yeah.
I remember Jimmy Butler going to Fred Hoiberg and saying, coach me harder, coach me more aggressively. I need to be coached right. You know what I mean? Like, say F you to me every now and then. It's kind of a masochist with his practices, but I mean fibs. But you were expecting this massive change to happen. And listen, it may happen for a week. It may happen for 2 weeks. I bet you it happened for the 3 weeks that we were good. But eventually you revert back to who you are. And I do wonder if that is a case that we're seeing here, where this is why the team is ready to move on from Shane Waldron, because the things that you're seeing in the game, they continue to mention pre-snap penalties. The things that you're seeing in the game are the things that they're seeing in practice, and we're just moving on. That's terrible. That's horrible coaching.
Yeah.
And Jackson Smith and Jigba going,
oh, yeah.
All right. By the way, white folks, how y'all feel about Njigba? How's that sit with you? Do you let it roll off the tongue?
Is that a little too close?
Look, I feel I want to know if that's just like rolling off the tongue confidently. Oh, that's my engine. But hey, wait a minute now.
Hold on a second here. A
Hold
little
on
too
over in
close.
Seattle. I got questions, bro.
A little too close for comfort.
I got questions.
No, I look. This is one of the areas that I actually love about this team. Is that despite, hey, let's keep everything in house. We're all going to be kumbaya behind the scenes. Don't everything just calm down. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Don't tell everybody everything that's going on behind closed doors. No, we're going to tell everything that's going on behind closed doors. This has to stop. I love the confidence and almost the screw you attitude of some of these leaders of the team, because they see that something has to change. And if the organization's not going to do it, if the leaders of this organization are going to tiptoe around the issue, I love that the players aren't, because that's where it possibly can change. And so when you hear constantly, Cole Kmet talk about, well, it's the preparation. There's some people who are kind of lazy from Monday through Friday, Jalen Johnson going out and saying, hey, you got some players that, I even liked how he compared it to the two radio personalities. He's saying one stays after work and continues to work on his craft. And, the other guy sees him, but he said, all right, guy, I'll see you later. I'm going to go hang out and do whatever I got to do.
Yeah.
That one guy, he's putting in work even after off the clock. But the other guy is just kind of ho-humming and saying, I'll just wait till I get on the clock. Well, Sunday is the game, but Monday through Friday is when you prepare for the game. That's just as important. Preparation is important. That's what Matt Eberflus preached. That was the word that was yelled at the beginning of the Hard Knocks video. That's what it takes to win. And so again, deaf ears on Matt Eberflus and his statement and his coach speak, because you clearly see there are players on this team that do not care. There's a certain level of effort that is not being put into the practices that's leading up to the losses on Sunday. It's not just about going to the game and trying to win. You can't just sometimes appear at work and just say, oh, now I'm going to do my job.
Yeah.
No, you have to prepare. It's the time that you put into it. Whenever we were in school, you had a big test come up. You didn't like it, but you have to prepare for that test.
Don't use me as an example. I talk sports for a living.
Don't
use me as an example. I talk sports for a living, dog.
All right. Well,
I'm the dude that got kicked out of my my ACTs because I was like, hey, where the dude that did Derrick Roses? I need that dude real quick.
Hey, for real. Hey, you got to pay somebody else. Find a way to be successful is what I'd say. If you got to go through different ways, just find a way to win. And so my point is like, hey, you prepare for those tests. You get as prepared as possible. You get ready as possible. You're professionals getting paid. And I mean, just from a smaller microscope, that's why you see examples like Nate Davis getting paid $10 million, but kind of just slovenly walking around like he doesn't have a job to do. Now you're a healthy scratch. And now you get hurt when you're not even playing. My back.
Hey, dog. No, I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like Nate came up to Matt. I really do feel like I think Matt just done with my boy. I feel like Nate came up to Matt and was like, "Hey, Matt, my back's a little tight today." He's just like, "Get out of my face, bro. Just go home." I feel like I was immediate. It's like I ain't got time to deal with your dumb stuff today. Go home, bro.
Yeah.
Get out.
Lame excuses. Yep. That could be the case.
But you know what? I'll say this. I think Nate Davis is a great name to bring up because realistically speaking, the stuff that he was allowed to get away with, the stuff that he was allowed to do, basically anytime there was an issue, hey, I'm sitting out. I'm done. I'm out. Yeah, I mean, like if you had a real leadership in there, if you had a real sense of leader at offensive coordinator or at head coach, I mean, you're not standing for that. You think Nate Davis, like, let's be real. Nate Davis doing that with Andy Reid, Bill Belichick?
No.
Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay. You think Nate Davis is doing that? They'll move on from you so fast. Meanwhile, we're 3 years in and we want to be good guys. We want to build an organization that's good guys. We want to build an organization that makes you feel kumbaya. Here we go. We're excited. I'm glad to be here. Glad to show up to work every day. We just lost 48-10. Yeah, but I'm happy to be here. I'm glad to show up to work every day. Like, no, bro. Like you have to continually build on what you want to be successful at. You don't just sit down. Even in any job, bro. Even in this. I love the mugs that think that they could just sit down and just know how to do the job or just sit down. Oh, I could do it. Hey, we had a dude legitimately. We played video games with. And I'll never forget this mug, he paused the whole chat and was like, I could make it to ESPN. And everybody was just in the chat like, probably not, dog. Like, just because you have an opinion doesn't mean that you've put in the hours of work that it takes to understand how to articulate that opinion, especially when mugs are combating you or talking back. And the funny thing about it was I always would sit there and give him facts and he would get like flustered and upset and be like, oh, darn it.
Yep.
Like it's not just sitting down and making it work. Like, yeah, if you want to go to ESPN, I mean, here's my thing. Do it. If you can do it, do it. Why not? It's everybody's dream job. It's every dude's dream job. What do you get paid to do? I talk sports for a living.
No.
Do it. I did it. I made it look easy.
Hey,
I did it. It's not easy.
Shout out to you.
But it's the work you put in and into something every single day that people don't see. And I think that's the thing that you have to question with this Bears team.
Yeah.
Are you putting in that work every single day that the people don't see? And clearly you're not, because when we see the product on the field, when we see you on the field, you're the one that's struggling to put in a drive without a penalty popping up. And I think that all stems, like I said, it all starts in training camp.
Yeah.
It all starts in training camp.
Yeah, it starts there. I mean, you hear a guy, running back, DeAndre Swift, talk about, being intentional when it comes to the work throughout the week and coming here every day with the purpose, making sure that you are doing your job. You're paying attention to the small details. All of those things matter leading up to the game. It's not just about going in the spotlight and trying to perform. When people want this great body, you go to work out. You see people on the street that have these great physiques, or that's a result of people putting in work and time when people are not looking at them. They go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week. They have a regimen. They got an eating regimen. They have a diet. They're strict. They're disciplined.
Oh, that's my problem.
It sucks because I'm trying to be on that too. I
I
love steak too much.
I went in. Shout out to the homie Melissa. She released her custom Jordan.
All right.
For the women's collective in Chicago. So really dope. So I went to her release party last night.
That's what's up.
Listen, it's 12:30 in the morning. I'm knocking down Chinese left and right. It's crazy.
Oh no,
it's bad, bro. I'm going to the gym right after this, but I'm knocking down a Beijing beef. You know what I mean?
Oh, Beijing beef.
Choy out there. You know what I'm saying? They're getting in on the bok choy. Little fried rice, beef, and chicken. Yeah, I mean, it got bad quick, dog.
That sounds good. That's some good eating. That's some good eating. I'm not gonna lie.
They brought out the steaks.
Oh boy, I would have fell out. Oh my goodness. No, it's like you have to be disciplined. That's another word. That this team is not disciplined. You have the players that at the top that are saying, "Hey, come on," and maybe they're trying to drag these other people behind it and saying, like, hey, you got to put in the same effort that we do. Look at what we're doing and imitate it. And that's just not happening because, again, they're not the coaches. The coaches are the ones that are supposed to have the biggest voice to motivate these players, to get the respect out of these players. You said it yourself. The locker room looks like a respectable locker room. The players looked at like they're playing for each other.
They genuinely like each other.
They genuinely like each other.
Enjoy being around each other. I think the problem is not the team itself.
Yeah, it's hey, who's over us? What is he saying? That don't sound right. Okay. How's he saying it? I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time Shane Waldron comes up for a press conference and we talk to, looking forward to the next game. What are you looking forward to? What can
Yeah.
you do better? How can you I'm never ever confident myself in the things that he says and the way he says them. So if that's coming off kind of bland to me, how in the world do you think it's going to come off to the guys in the locker room behind closed doors? People see and hear what's going on. That's not going to resonate with those guys.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's you're in a very tough situation, and the problem is, especially with the Shane Waldron deficiencies, and why you're probably moving on from the play caller. By the way, over 600 in that shit. Yeah, the meaty morning going on here.
Oh, meaty.
The problem with Shane Waldron and not holding guys accountable, the comments and everything else where he just seems confused is everyone else who's ever been a football mind can also see it.
Mm-hmm.
When I wake up in the morning and go to my Twitter and it's Kurt Warner and Dan Orlovsky and JT O'Sullivan and Chase Daniels and every one of them, listen, and because I do this every time I go home, I rewatch the game. All right. It looked as bad as I thought it did.
Shut up to you.
Sunday looked even worse than I thought it did. I sit there and I'm watching the all 22 and I'm like, all right, let me see. Let me make sure I'm seeing what I'm seeing. I see what I think I'm seeing. Then I hit up J-Mac or I go to one of these pundits. Usually I hit up J-Mac where I go to one of these pundits and I'm like, is what I'm looking at what I'm looking at? Is this a problem? Is this a problem? I'm asking questions to make sure that I'm understanding it.
Mm-hmm.
And when every one of them go, I don't know what the heck this is. They're not saying heck, by the way. I've been in the NFL a long time. I don't know what this is. I don't know what I'm looking at here. I'm not sure what the concept of this play is. Even sending stuff to Briggs. When you send stuff to Briggs, and Briggs is like, I'd have killed him. We'd have took his head off on a play like that. When they're all doing that, then the coach speak and the confusion and the struggles and all of that is real. And I think that's why you probably need to move on from Waldron more than anything, because everyone's confused. And if all the former players are confused, if us in the media watching tape, where I'm not going to sit there and say we know everything about football, but we try to educate ourselves best we can, contrary to what Twitter would say. You sit there and watch the tape, you try to figure it out, and you ask a lot of questions when you don't know. When everyone goes, what's the concept of this play? What do you think other NFL defenses are doing? Like they're licking their chops. You're setting this kid up for failure before he even gets a chance to have success. And that it is concerning. It's also concerning that a lot of the things that we're seeing out of Caleb Williams are stuff that we were worried about in in college. But I think at the same time, you've got a young man on this team who you can clearly see can be better, has the talent to be better, has the ability to go out there and make plays. If you keep it very simple right now, I don't even know if you have to keep it simple. If you keep it simple because of the talent that you have on the field right now.
Mm-hmm.
And yet we keep seeing these, I don't even know if they complex, confusing concepts that he's supposed to decipher when everybody else who's looking at these plays is going, well, I don't know what the point of this is. Who's he supposed to throw to?
They don't.
That's what I hear every week. Who's he supposed to throw to?
Where's the space? Where's this creation of space? We were supposed to have some of the better receivers that got separation, but you're throwing plays out there where everybody's bunched together. They're 5 yards, close to each other in all of these different schemes. When you have Dan Orlovsky talking about, they're 5 feet from within each other on 4 receivers going out in different routes, and how the plays don't marry each other. That's my problem. And then ultimately, again, The reason why there needs to be drastic change is because you're essentially going to get your quarterback killed at some point. Going into the heavier part of the season, going against your division rivals, you need to find a way to get this guy through this season without him regressing to the point where he becomes more, like I said before, mentally jarred. And now his ceiling has been lowered. Just because you've gotten this guy sacked a million times. And it's cool, somebody, I believe, I forgot who it was, but, they asked him, how's Caleb dealing with all of these sacks? Oh, man, he gets right back up. He's cool. Yeah, that's fine and dandy. Yeah, Caleb gets right back up. He takes it in stride. They ask him, how are you feeling? I'm a little bruised up, but, moving on to the next game. But you want to continue to have him get 9 sacks a game and then have the record for most hits. That'll mess with the person's timing. That can mess with his anticipatory talent that we thought he had. That can mess with his accuracy. That can mess up a lot of different things that this so-called generational quarterback that we were supposed to have, going forward. So it's a matter of making sure at the very least that you stop the bleeding when it comes to your quarterback development. Get guys in here that can actually do that. Help him succeed on Sundays.
Yeah.
Help the team get better during the week. It's a must.
It's bad right now. It's bad right now. You got players calling out players. You got players calling out coaches. I mean, listen, it's pretty consistent. And it's so funny because, like I said, you go in the locker room and everybody's like, yeah, it's fine. We're going to figure it out. We're going to get there. They may not get there, but we're gonna get there.
A little double speak, yeah, I know.
He may not make it, but we're gonna get there.
I'm gonna be around.
I'll be there. Don't you worry. Paul with another super chat. Appreciate Paul. Paul always rocking with us with the super chat. Another problem is Caleb is 53% passing in a clean pocket. He's not as accurate as we thought. Yeah, listen, he's got to be better too. He's been bad this season.
Those numbers were better, though, at the beginning.
Those numbers were better at the beginning. Listen, I think that the regression has a lot to do with getting your head beat in. But he does hold the football too long at times. He does cause some of his own sacks. Like we said Sunday, if it's 70-30, I'd say Caleb probably caused 3 or 4 of those sacks.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. He just holding the ball too long. But also, you look at, again, I implore people, take a look at the All-22, ask somebody who does football for a living, if you know somebody, or who, like the quarterback and the wide receivers aren't, their timing is terrible. I don't know if that gets fixed by putting Thomas Brown in there, but their timing is terrible. Like their routes aren't synced up to where Caleb is going through his progression. It makes no sense. That's why I keep saying, like, I watch it and I'm just like, who the heck is he supposed to throw to here? Like, Caleb's looking at Keenan in the middle of the field Keenan's head hadn't even turned around. He hasn't even started the break on his route. Now he's got to go to the next guy as DJ. DJ's just now starting to break on his route. He could fire it in there maybe, but like, you got to assume that DJ is going to get his head around quick enough. By the time he gets to Swift, I'm back there 4 or 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if Thomas Brown changes all of that much. I think for the most part, Bears fans will just be blaming Thomas Brown by the end of the season, or just be out on Caleb, one or the other. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. This coming Sunday is not going to be fun.
Oh boy.
Bears Packers week, usually a week we're hyped for, usually a week that we get excited for. I'm done with that. I'm done getting excited about it. Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to this game.
I'll be pleasantly surprised if we win.
I'll be pleasantly surprised if we're in the game. If we're in the game.
Nah. We've been in games. I'm sick of being in games. Nah. Man, listen, if you're going to beat me, blow me out. Like, nah.
That's how bad it's got.
Don't let it be close and then I get my heart ripped out because we had a competitor get blow me out.
That's
no, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. No, because it means more to me if Caleb is competitive in this game. I shouldn't say that. It does mean more to me if Caleb is going back and forth with Jordan Love. He's competitive in this game, and then you lose it in a close one, and you go, that sucks. But it looks like we got things back on track. I do want to see that.
Do you not notice? You just see the emotional roller coaster you just went through in the last.
Shut up, man! I'm going through a lot over here.
I don't want to. You know what? I want to see a blow. No, I don't want to see a blow. I want to see Caleb. Nah, you know what? I want to. Nah. That's what the Bears do to us.
Hey, Don Quixote, I felt it as I said it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was hoping that we got past it.
I didn't want to say anything either, obviously, but
that was nuts.
Don Quixote's been calling out every single thing since the start talking about Woody. I caught that too. All right,
hey, Don Quixote,
shut up.
Yeah, that one was nuts. If you gonna beat me, blow me out, it's crazy. Hey, man, we're going to get up out of here. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I would have talked about the Bulls' close win versus the Cavaliers, but nobody can see it.
Just a bit outside.
Doc, I love the fact that they're like, okay, so you won't get these digital antennas, but how about we charge you $300 a year for an app?
Hey, Fubo.
Like what? And then no, that's the best part. Also the fact that they're like, I know YouTube TV is phenomenal, but you can watch the Bulls. What? Like, dog, if you don't get out of here, I'm going straight to streaming and calling it a day. Gotta get out of here, dog. Talking about some. You can switch to Fubo TV. I got League Pass, or not League Pass. I do got League Pass. I got League Pass. I got NBA, NFL Red Zone. I got every single Bears game. You think I'm switching?
Exactly. No.
Think I'm switching? I'll slap you, Jerry Ransdorf. Let's get up out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. For Mr. Media himself, Jordan JC. Yep. It's your boy Pat, the designer, back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bed down. One love. Peace.
Oh, continue to laugh through the pain.
Nah, I'm just in pain.
No laughing anymore.
No laughing. I'm just
that man said, I want to see a blowout. No, I don't want to see a blowout.
I had to think about it. I was like, because we keep losing these close games to Green Bay.
That's true.
And when it's over, it's just like, it's over. We never had a chance.
Jesus, man.
But then I'm like, nah, but I need Caleb to develop.
Yeah. I do want to see Caleb look good. That is true. I do want to see him look good.
Better not see Shane Waldron smiling on the sideline.